Nolan, I'm glad I caught you. I had a quick item that happened to me this week to report. This is probably going to be a very short show, but I didn't want to lose the train of thought I had. And if you have a minute,
because I know at your age that can happen, and it's gone for good, right?
Well, I think everybody on the line can identify with they're talking at a cocktail party, and in the middle of their own sentence, they forget what they're talking about. So, I mean,
happens to me all the time, man.
Yeah, but
not good.
Yeah, but see, with me, it's important but with you, no one listens to you anyway. So when you lose your train of thought, they don't know it. So you can you can just carry on, and life goes on. With me,
man, you never miss an opportunity for a dig, do you?
Well, listen, I was out the other day, and you know I watch everything. I'm always watching people because it gets great stories for the seminars. And we popped into Panera Bread. You probably have those up in Canada.
I love that place. We don't have them here, but every time I go down to the States, I go there because they got free Wi-Fi and good sandwiches.
Yeah, it's great food. And I went in and I said, gee, this place is going to be empty. It was off on the back corner lot of a parking lot. And I said, this for location, this is not good, says me, the guru. I walk in, Nolan, you can't have a seat. There's thousands of people in there having their soup and their sandwiches and their salad. It was really cool. And then a woman came up to pay her bill, and who I assumed was the manager, the ringleader at the time, said to her, took her money, put her hand out, took her money, and said thank you without ever looking at the patron.
I've got a couple of rules when I deal with a business. You know, treat me like a human being. What you just said right there is probably the typical example of where he's been trained a script that he's supposed to say these things in this order and everything will be fine. But scripts don't matter one little bit if you're not connecting with your customer in a real human-to-human way.
That's the danger. I am an anti, and I know this is going to create some flack in the audience today. I am an anti-multitasker.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to last week's show. When you multitask, you don't do anything well.
You're right. It waters down everything else you're doing. You honor your customer by focusing on them and giving them your attention. And it doesn't take much.
No.
Look up and smile. Easy stuff. Oh my goodness, you might remember a few shows back I talked to you about going into a travel agency and watching this horror story unfold where a customer and his two people came in, husband and wife, to talk to a travel agent about a cruise. There was only one seat in front of the desk, and so both of them ended up standing for 15 minutes. The travel agent never thought to go get another chair, and I'm sure she just wasn't even thinking about it. But it's an example of how if you don't focus on your customer as a human being, you miss those little things.
Listen to this one, and then we'll close the show because I promised it to be a short one today. But my wife and I are going to a wedding soon, and she went up to a seamstress to get fitted, her dress fitted, and I went in and sat down on the couch waiting for my wife. And the seamstress's little daughter apparently at 3 o'clock comes over to the shop, and she's there at the magazine table doing her homework, and I give her about 8 or 9 years old. The seamstress is working with my wife. I'm sitting at this table. The young girl is doing her homework. Her mom was busy, and rather than have a client wait on her mom, this 8-year-old woman, little girl, offered to go retrieve something if I was in fact waiting for it. How beautiful was that?
That's cool. That is really cool.
She was and listen to this, it goes further. I say, no, honey, I'm just waiting for my wife. And then the little girl says, she has a very pretty dress on. And I said, yeah,
really?
Well, thank you. She goes, what's the occasion? I said, my son's getting married. And she said, 8 years old, no. She says, will you please tell him I said congratulations?
This is somebody who's going to grow up to be a great salesperson, I think.
I told my wife, I said, this girl's got it. She's got it. She's got it.
She does. Well, I'm going to counter that because I was in a restaurant in Dallas, Texas just a few days ago, in fact, with my mom. The waitress was standing there. She had just brought over the bill, and I had my iPhone out, and I was using a little application that helps calculate the tip. She walked up as I was calculating the tip, by the way, and she made a comment, which at first I thought, oh, how wonderful, she's trying to connect with me as a human being. She said, oh, is that one of those tip applications? And I said, yeah, it's great. And she said, huh, I always think iPhones suck. Now, how do you... What? She didn't have to say that.
She didn't have to say.
For all she knows, I'm the guy who invented the thing.
But you should have said with 10% doesn't require an application.
That's what I should
That's an
have
easy
done.
one.
Exactly. Like, you can connect with people, and you should connect with people as a real, genuine human being. But there's always a place for tact.
Yeah, right, exactly. But you know, with this little girl, back to that story, she wasn't born that way. She was trained.
You're right. Her mother, her parents, they raised her to treat people with respect and with dignity. And you know, when you own a business and you have employees, you have that opportunity to do the same thing right there. But if you just ignore it and let everybody go off on their own, then you're rolling the dice and taking your chances.
That's today's message. I think it's worth thinking about.
Well, it's at least worth thinking about a little bit.
Only if you want to stay in business.
Yeah, only if. Yeah. Well, hey, Mike, this was fun. Good catching up with you. You got a wedding to plan for your son, don't you?
Yeah, next week you might have to carry the entire freight. I'll be babbling for the next 3 to 4 weeks, probably.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks,
Take care.
Nolan. See you, man. Bye.
All right. Bye.